In this weather update, we are going to be talking about this line of storms that is going to be marching its way across the eastern U.S., as well as the week ahead, and this major change in temperature patterns, as we could see some areas reaching into the upper 80s and maybe even the 90s. Spring-like warmth will really reach out to many areas that haven't been touched by any type of warm weather this year. So this is going to be a very interesting update, so I hope you guys pay attention here and stay with me, but we are really going to be diving into this. So as you can see, we've got our storms that have been pretty strong here. We've got some showers and thunderstorms moving across the southeastern states. This will also impact the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast once we get into those afternoon hours of today. So these two areas are circled. You guys will definitely experience some thunderstorms. The stronger ones will be off to the south, and I do not think they will be any severe, but they will be definitely strong. So that's pretty much all that's been going on in the last few hours. Although we do have this piece of energy that's been kind of sticking out here along the coastal regions of the northwestern states. And so we've got three areas of focus today, and then we're going to be talking about what's left with the week ahead. So let me move on to now the next section of the video, which would be our alerts. And you can see that what we've got going on is we've got some flood warnings and watches. We've got flood advisories as well. So, excuse me. We've got flood watches that go out for northern Mississippi, southern and southwestern Tennessee. We've got southern Arkansas and eastern Texas also in that flood watch as well. This is just because of the storms have been causing, drenching downpours that have been causing those roadways to be a little wet and slippery. So just be cautious. Just use caution while driving because there may be a few flooded roads out there, as we do have a few flood warnings out there for those rivers and lakes here that have overflowed their banks or something. But you've got one here in Arkansas, and then here in West Central Mississippi. So it's been a pretty quiet morning overall. You could see pretty much everyone is not at risk of any in extreme weather. So we're kind of at a point where we can kind of we have some room to breathe, and we can kind of just relax and prepare for the next storm, which we can. I don't really see any other storm that looks concerning to me. Out 384 hours just because the GFS goes out, but that much. But I think we'll definitely have a pretty calm spring. I know the first the first week or two of spring really started off with a bang. You've got like two major severe weather outbreaks that unfolded across the central U.S. Those were really devastating there. But we are finally done with this. You have a freeze watch that does go out for some areas of northeastern Oklahoma. I believe this is a lakeshore flood advisory or a hydraulic outlook. I don't know for southern Montana. So let's check this out. So this is the Billings. So this is actually So this is the hydraulic outlook. This goes out for Billings and Red Lodge. So we could check that out a little later, but I don't know if we have to. I don't think we really have to pay attention to that. Just want to throw that out there, and then you've got the same type of alert for northern Oregon. That's definitely going to be out in effect for today, and then for southern Washington, there are like 3 or 4 counties in southern Washington that are also included in that risk. So that's pretty much all of your alerts today. You do have, I think, this wind advisory here that goes out for northern Michigan, and then a tiny bit of a winter weather advisory just for that cleanup after that blizzard that went through this area a few days ago. But there's nothing much happening right now. It's just a few alerts just to make sure everyone is safe. And so now we're going to be looking at the southeast. So this is the FP3 high resolution model. So we're going to be kind of looking at the outlook for what these thunderstorms are going to bring today. None of these, I don't think any of these are going to be severe. They do have a small chance for severe, as we do have like a slight risk out. I don't know if it's for this area that I'm going to circle right here. I don't know if it's for this area specifically. I believe it's farther off to the east. So it's looking like as these storms travel eastward, you could have stronger storms along the coastline of like the Carolinas and the surrounding areas. But just something interesting to watch. I'll leave that circled so we can kind of just see how this unfolds. But I can see these storms definitely grow. Looks like maybe a brief supercell can form here in south central Mississippi, so watch out for that. Tornado threat isn't very high, but it's definitely possible. And these storms are just going to be marching across the southeastern U.S. as pretty much just mid-spring storms. It's kind of, you got to get into that groove, back in the groove where during the summer and springtime, those temperatures are warmer, so you get more thunderstorms. And that's basically what this is. This is a weak band of thunderstorms that's just going to move across. It's not any it's not, severe thunderstorm warned. It's just a regular, ordinary band of thunderstorms. And this will just continue for a very long period of time as you're getting into tomorrow. This is 7 p.m. tomorrow, and you're still getting storms firing across South Carolina, southern Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, and southern Louisiana. So there's still going to be a very big amount of water that's going to fall with this, just because it's going to be raining for a long period of time, for 3 days straight. Excuse me. Jesus, I've got a very bad cold today. Um, but this is definitely going to be bringing some downpours that could definitely be drenching. But it's going to be very wet for the next few days, and then on the backside of this, you'll finally start seeing some clouds breaking. But you probably won't see the sun come out in these areas for 2 or 3 days. So it's going to be kind of dreary out there, and you're going to have a few rumbles of thunder. But it will be pretty warm, I'll tell you that, for the southeast. So it's going to be rainy, but it'll be pretty warm. It's been a pretty warm day for the entire eastern U.S. today. So that rainfall, I mean, like I said, you're going to have those drenching downpours. And here you have it. I mean, look at the border of South Carolina and North Carolina. You guys are going to get almost 5 inches of rain here from this. So this orangish red here, this is 4 to 5 inches of rain. And then for you guys in eastern Texas, looks like it'll be the same for you guys, like 3 to 4 inches of rain. But I mean, this is crazy. I mean, look at Louisiana. This is like, I mean, you're getting 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches of rain just off the southern coast of Louisiana. The yellow here, this is like 7 to 10 inches of rain. I mean, that is a ton of rainfall. But I think this could be exaggerating a little bit. It's just because there's going to be so much rainfall picked up with these storms that if you just take a look at the whole area, you can see everyone is getting at least an inch of rain, and you don't really escape this unless you go way far north into like Missouri and the central U.S. Central Plains, or if you go almost into like Cuba or farther south than Key West, Florida, or something like that. But I just want to say in general that there is going to be a lot of rainfall and at least 2 inches in many of these areas that I'm circling here. I don't know why I made that green, just indicating rainfall there, because there is a lot of moisture in the Gulf of Mexico right now. So that's a good sign though too, because if we can get rid of that Gulf moisture and just give it to these storms. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. My sister was yelling for me, but regardless, you just got to make sure that because this Gulf moisture is really fueling these systems, the one that's impacting today. You've got to make sure that you understand that there's still, even though there's not much Gulf moisture left over because it's been kind of dumped into the system today. There's still, that doesn't mean that it eliminates the chance for severe weather. It just brings it down a lot. But that's a very good thing because we've been dealing with a lot of very dangerous and terrible severe weather in the southeast that we really want to get rid of, and it soon should die down. But just want to say that, if this Gulf moisture is, just dumped into this system that's impacting today, we should see a lot less, more, dangerous and stronger storms in the next few weeks. So that's just a really good sign for people who are really sick of this severe weather. All right, well, let's check in on our friends let's check in with our friends in the Northeast. So today's going to be pretty nice, I'll tell you. It's not going to be until later this afternoon where those thunderstorms arrive, but we're going to start out with our temperatures. This was 8 a.m. today, and you've already gotten into the 70s for some of, Washington, D.C., that area, just the Delmarva area in general. You guys have been very warm, and then it'll get hot today. You'll get into the upper 80s for most of you guys. A lot of you in southern and central um, New Jersey, you guys could definitely get into those 80s, maybe even New York City. My high for today, I'm right here in northwestern Long Island. My high for today is 76. Something. So I'm thinking that New York City could definitely see maybe half an hour period of 80 degrees for temperature, but this will slowly get pushed away by a cold front that's going to be driving this not severe weather, but these thunderstorms out of the way. And then it'll get pretty chilly. Tomorrow it's going to be pretty cold. It's going to be in the 40s and 50s for most of you. Ugh, excuse me. But then here we're getting into tomorrow, and you can see that you've got widespread 40s, and then some people maybe even getting into the 30s. But that, that very, those warm temperatures, that's kind of trapped. You don't see anybody getting over 60 degrees until the sun finally comes out again around 2 to 3 p.m. tomorrow. Then you'll start seeing everyone get back into the upper 50s. But most of you will stay in the 40s and lower 50s for most of tomorrow. So it's going to be a very chilly tomorrow. Um, but it'll be definitely warm today. So what I want you guys to do is get outside today, and then when the thunderstorms come in, stay inside, and then tomorrow it will be very cold. So with these thunderstorms, I mean, like I said earlier, they're not going to be severe, but they will potentially be strong. As you can see, the main line of thunderstorms will definitely march through Long Island and New York City. You guys will probably get hit the hardest by this. So the arrival time for these systems, these storms, will probably be around 7 p.m. tonight. And then watch as these go through like central Long Island and like the Long Beach area. These will get very strong here, as you can see, a lot of heavy rainfall with those thunderstorms. But they will finally move offshore, and you'll have just a lot of clouds and some scattered rain showers out there. But those could definitely be strong, and you just want to make sure that you are inside when those storms hit. And then you've got like more storms and showers and thunderstorms that will be farther south than Long Island and New York City, but those will not be as strong as the ones you guys are going to experience today. And then tomorrow, it's going to be just very cold and sunny. So, that's pretty much the outlook for today. And then here is the SPC, so the severe thunderstorm percentages for today. And you're up to a slight risk for Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, Arlington, Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, and Lynchburg, Virginia. So a lot of Virginians are included in this risk. And because we're only up to a slight risk, the tornado risk is definitely, it's less than 2%. Wind is at a 10%, and then hail is at 5%. But just want to let you guys know that there is another chance for severe weather further south than New York City. So maybe what I was saying about the strong storms in New York City, I don't know. You could pick, my expectations on these storms or the National Weather Service, but either way, it's not going to be anything to worry about. Just make sure that you are inside when these storms hit, so you guys can be safe. And then tomorrow, we don't have much going on. We just have a below level 1 risk for severe weather. So what I'm just going to be showing you guys is the latest GFS model for basically the week ahead, and we're just going to look at what we're going to be dealing with in terms of storm systems. So you can see that there is almost absolutely nothing here unless you do get a piece of energy that moves across the central plains that tries to form something in the Gulf, and maybe something will spin up. So you're thinking that maybe around the 12th, you could have your first, like tropical storm system of the year, and that would be very interesting to see. But sorry I switched that. That was actually the 12Z GFS just came out just before, like seconds before I said this, but that's why this kind of glitched. But something could definitely spin up in the Gulf of Mexico, and we're gonna watch this system closely. But let me get back to this. But what the GFS wants this thing to do is it will make an eye possible. So let's check in the southeast. Let's go to the southeast here. Look at this. This is pretty tight. This is pretty tight, and this is rotating. So maybe you'll get a little like tropical depression or something. It doesn't have to be a hurricane or a tropical storm, but maybe just a type of tropical system that could form in the Gulf, and it will spin across the southeast, and then it'll weaken very fast. But then this may just kind of stick around for a few days, and then it'll just kind of weaken as a big cluster of thunderstorms. But I mean, there definitely is a chance for a tropical system to form in the Gulf of Mexico around the 12th. So we're going to continue watching that. I don't think it'll be named, but there's definitely a chance, as it looks like it could get potentially organized right here just off the coast of Louisiana. But that's something very interesting to pay attention to. But let me head back to the U.S. But let me get out of here for a second. Okay, 1 second. So yeah, so it's just going to be a few rounds of very weak pieces of energy that are going to move across the eastern U.S. And you don't see pretty much anything that's noticeable unless you want to talk about this potential tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico, and then this other piece of energy that's going to move across the northern states that could bring some rainfall to a lot of the areas. But it's going to be a very calm week, and you don't see any cold air left. The whole U.S. is going to be submerged in very warm temperatures. That's going to wrap the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, like, share, comment, and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this update, and I'll catch you guys next time.